Mr. Pranav is currently associated, like I said, with Finisco, a digital fan engagement and analytical company, driving digital fan engagement transformation for sports organizations. That's interesting, with augmented reality and gamification. Before Fanisco, Mr. Pranav led a US-based premium, that's again very exciting, motorcycle brand, CCW, as CEO and CMO, and built the brand and the entire operations in India from ground zero. Mr. Pranav possesses diverse industry background in automobile, engineering, energy, telecom, electronic, and textile, and functional exposure with a tenacious commitment to driving growth. In summary, if I say, he led startup, turned around poor performing mid-sized company and achieved astonishing results across automobile OEMs, two-wheeler and series, investment banking and manufacturing, marketing enthusiast, built the brands from ground zero, led business plan with top line target of 250 USD million and budget of $15 million, managed 190 plus team size, contributed in global strategies, raised US $15 million funds, built winning team, led change management, and managed board and stakeholders effectively. He also has to his kitty is he has traveled extensively with exposure to international assignments in China, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Europe, to name few. So thank you very much, Pranav, to joining us. And now I'll be moving on to the questions that we have for you. So the number one question again starts with the branding and marketing strategy has to be looked into with the long-term perspective and also in the short-term perspective. Now the question is that how the pandemic has positioned digital as the most effective strategies in the marketing plan.
Yeah, in fact, Rohit, the pandemic has actually, compelled people to think through, introspect the strategies regarding the marketing and branding. Because, there is a common issue which we face earlier or we observe earlier. Moment we say digital, the obvious response come to us is we already have pages on social media. We already have Facebook, we already have Instagram. But then it was important to discuss that digital is not only social media. It's different perspective altogether. It should be looked into holistic way. And that's where the short-term and long-term perspective comes in the play. So as we know, branding is now the era has, we have seen multiple eras, like it was the production era, then product era, then sales era, then marketing era. And now we have come to the era which is experiential based marketing. It's no longer just a marketing where you do ATL, BTL activities, hoardings and prints and that's over. Digital has taken a significant space in your entire comprehensive plan of marketing. And so it's important that how do we create experience for the audience, whether it's a sports domain when we talk about fans, or when I was in automobile, then it was a customer who is actually taking inquiry. So let me share example from the bike, what we launched from the ground zero as a brand. So it's important to map the entire customer journey or touch points, when the audience or consumer or any XYZ person is engaging with your brand and with the product. So it's important to lay down the point number one to the post-purchase behavior, and you map the entire process. And during this process, you need to identify which are the touch points are extremely important in the brand point of view, where the brand is actually speaking about the, its significance to the audience. And there on those touch points, we need to identify where the digital can play a role, which can enhance the experience. So for example, when somebody wants to buy a bike, so whatever communication we have put it across, whether it's a ATL, BTL, any ad, or even the social media. So the person who is expecting to buy a product or explore about the product, he or she will, first of all, come to a website. From there, he will try to locate the nearby dealer. There, he will try to go there and explore the products there. Moment the person enters the showroom, how the salespeople are treating him, how they are welcoming him, how they are showing and communicating the products as well as the specification. Then there is a process for registering yourselves to take a test drive. Then there is a negotiation and then you buy the bike. Then there is a question of financing arrangements from the bank or the insurance. then your delivery the bike will happen. After that, the person comes in with the first service, for during the free service to the service station. Again, the experience. So when you look at all these points, every point has experience for the consumer, for the brand. And so first of all, if somebody comes on my website, how is the experience on the website? Is the website is good enough to respond? Are you covering enough, the feature like chatbot or something which actually give the immediate response to the queries what consumer is asking for, or technical questions? There are many other brands people come as a window shopper and try to understand your brand. So how do you respond the customer on website? Then when you enter the showroom, the guy enters the showroom, do you have any digital interface to capture all the information what he's talking about? One of the banks, when we were talking about uh, tying up for the financing, vehicle financing, the only bank told us out of 5 banks when we had a meeting, they said, if you want to do a finance with us, we will complete the process in 15 minutes through our guy talking, standing with the iPad with his hand. 15 minutes assured process completion. And that's where the experience comes in the picture through digital way. So then if the person is taking the finance from that particular bank and he will get the satisfaction in 15 minutes, my brand will automatically get, weighted up. That, okay, this guy is delivering the promise what they're talking about. And of course, the social media plays important role. When we were in the promoting efforts, we spend 80% of our budget on social media. And so all the pages, again, the content is important, but then the engagement also is important. So gamification is an interesting area. Last year the Flipkart registered 70% growth because of the gamification factor was added in their portal. So gamification also has become very important tool through digital. So coming back to the point, when we look at the long-term perspective, all these touch points, you need to focus on digital intervention, whether it's the bike servicing or the warranty periods. One of the times, if you remember, last year, the Ford ran the very aggressive campaign on downloading mobile app and getting your service estimate done. Because there was a perception that Ford is expensive car to be maintained compared to other brands. And that's what the Ford realized that, no, we need to remove this perception. So what did they do? They launched a mobile app. And through that, actually, you can see what is my estimated cost for servicing and vis-a-vis what has happened actually on the ground. And that digital intervention actually helped to bridge or rather kill that perception that the Ford is expensive car in terms of maintenance. So these are the touch points are very, very important. And that's where we tell people that don't just look at the short term, I have social media pages, so I'm done with the digital. Go beyond that. And that's where the experiential marketing plays a very, very important role. So Fanisco, when I talk about, we offer that element of experiential marketing by creating gamification zone. We had fantasy cricket. So you can predict ball to ball game when you are on the live match. So you register yourself, you predict the results. If you are very close to your results and score the points, then you win the prizes. And that is where the importance is, how do you engage fans or your customers, and so that your communication is very, very perfect. Yeah, right.
Okay. Thank you, Pranav. I think two, three very good points that you mentioned were like, one of them was that you are right that initially it used to be like just having a social media page used to be like, okay, that's the presence that we kind of have. I have one observation here which I really want to share is that basically what happened is there was one set of entrepreneurs whom I found they were actually still not there on social media or any of those handles. And post the pandemic, what has happened is they have also realized that, okay, now we need to be there on any of these kind of platforms. And these are the ones which we can actually use to build brand. So before that, they were mostly relying on flyers, brochures, or any other kind of offline activity, traditional part of activity. And now they have actually uh, accepting the fact that, okay, social media is something that we can look forward to and we can actually start investing money, even at a small level. But they have started realizing that we will get those eyeballs now. Okay. So now coming to your next question, which is very much close to artificial intelligence. So the question is that how the role of AI transformed during the COVID-19 in India and across the globe, and has this transformation started, or we are yet to see this transformation happening, right?
Yeah, very valid and important question, Rohit. In fact, and if I take the clue from the first question again, that COVID has actually given the time to introspect everything. So initial couple of months, I would say 2 months during the lockdown, I mean, all of us were in panic. Nobody was knowing that what exactly has happened to us and what's going to be there in next couple of months, because even government was coming out every week something new and there. So when we were talking to our clients back then, they said, no, everything let's hold. We don't know what to do now. But from last 2-3 months, yes, there are interactions started. People have actually thought about that this is important thing about digital aspects and also adding AI features or AI based features to their products. Let me talk about sports itself. Now, the IPL is coming now, we know that, and it's
Right.
because of pandemic has been shifted out of India. Now look at the IPL itself. It's a seasonal game. Now, during the season, there is a huge hype on fans and your flags, and people are painting their faces and T-shirts and everything. It goes like, adrenal rush to the highest level. But then after the game is over, then the fans or the sports franchisee or all these players, they go in vacuum till the time next season comes in. So the people realize that, are you going to put all the efforts again to restart
Pranav, you're there? Pranav, you're there?
Perhaps we can move on and come back to Pranav once
Yeah, I think
he's there.
Pranav, some network issue from there. Pranav, you're there? Just let me just check him once. He's joined again.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, Pranav.
Yeah, there was sudden power cut and so just UPS backup. Yeah, so I was talking. So this is the area where in 360-degree perspective, now the fans actually can see the entire stadium. We have also initiated the process for dressing room experience with the players. So whatever happens in the dressing room before the match, what kind of engagement happens, that kind of thing also, because of 360-degree perspective, they can be part of that. We are also discussing about the gymming session of players, so even the gymming session tour can be taken up and fan will be excited to join the session with the particular player. We also have gamings. So based on the games, if you achieve certain points and if you win this game, then you have a selfie possibility with the player. So you are sitting in Mumbai and the match is going into let's say in UAE. In the hotel itself, the fans 3D image can be portrayed with the player, and the player will take a selfie and that will be sent back to the fan. So you can imagine the experience what the fan will have for the particular game. And during the lean period, we will run a lot of contests and quizzes and all this thing. The players will come on the mobile app and will start sharing the sessions on fitness, educating audience about the sports, addressing live sessions and answering their questions. So these are the aspects which will definitely help engaging fans, not only during the IPL's game which is happening, but also between IPL game when the time is lean particularly. Another angle is all of us would have, I'm sure, would have watched the game, the movie Moneyball. You know, the Brad Pitt, when he actually they collect the data for the players which were not selected in the clubs. He identifies the strengths of these people through a data analyst, and actually make a team which is and they predict the performance of this team based on working on their weaknesses. And they come out with the performance, and that team becomes number one from nowhere. So now a lot of clubs are actually, we are discussing with them about the similar kind of approach, the data-driven things, and when the predictability is possible through AI approach, and that's where the team performance can be augmented. So these are the things now, because of COVID, the franchise owners or the players in India started thinking about it. How do we engage fans on the longer term basis? Because if you engage more fans, it is beneficial for franchisee also, because then they can get more sponsorship, because there is a wider reach and deeper reach for the audiences. So even the franchise now renegotiating the terms for sponsorship to increase the money for sponsorship. Okay. So these are the various angles which actually AI and this gamification, the predictive analysis and all this really help in the sports domain. And one of the areas is like, it's just a beginning, Rohit, as you asked the question, is not even started in the full-fledged zone. It's just the beginning.
Right. And I think IPL Insight is really quite interesting, because that's something that we all will look forward to. And like you said, that the virtual stadium being monitored and everything, and I think it's going to give us a far better experience than actually watching it live, right? Like today, absolutely. Also, if we get into a lot of AI products or anything, I think it gives us a far better experience altogether. Yeah?
Absolutely, yeah, that is an important opportunity where the fans will be engaged in a much better way, for sure.